Before we start this video, we have to tell you that we are not medical professionals and you should not seek medical advice from this video. We have to say, we'll get into why exactly and the ridiculous of this. But this story, Jason, is absolutely incredible. And it's about an elderly man from Oklahoma who's claiming that a cheap drug for his dog cured him of cancer, which he described was head-to-toe cancer. And now, 2 years later, after using this cheap dog
for dogs
medicine,
cured your cancer. You
what?
Sorry, it autoplayed.
Okay, no, we can keep going. We can keep going here. He said he had cancer in his stomach, in his neck, in his liver, in his pancreas, in his bladder, in his bone. He had cancer everywhere. This man is now claiming that a cheap drug that was used for his dog literally cured him, and he is allegedly living proof of this. Jason, this is incredible. What do you make of this story, and what are some of the details that stick out to you here?
So we're going to play that video because that's a local news video, but they told him to call hospice. They said, game over, dude. Say goodbye to your family. You maybe have 3 months to live. So I want to get all the facts straight here because he did do another clinical trial. However, everybody else who was involved in that clinical trial had nowhere near the results that he did. He said like you said, if you look at these results.
Well, you're just mentioning a clinical trial that he did with, of course, modern medicine, which, of course, ranked him up. His insurance bill was $1.2 million, right?
Yeah, 1.2.
They told him, you got 3 months to live here. We're going to put you on a clinical trial. The clinical trial in the medical industry didn't produce the same results as he did because he talked to some veterinarian online. I mean, what's the story here, Jason?
Yeah, we're going to, again, show you this, but I want you to look at his PET scans. I mean, this is real. He had this cancer. I don't think anybody is contesting that that's the case. Vitamin E, curcum, and CBD oil were some of the things he was doing on the side. He won't say what he was doing for the clinical trial, but basically he went online and he found
I don't think he can. Sorry, Jason, to cut you off there. I don't think he can talk about the clinical trial because many clinical trials make you sign a document signing your life over, any responsibility over. And I think it's also an NDA. But to be specific, this man had late stage small cell lung cancer in 2016. Keep going here, Jason.
Yeah, that again went through his entire body. And like you said, with that clinical trial, they just said maybe you can meet your grandkid that was going to be born. From 3 months, they gave him to a year. So, just stretching out his life a bit. There was nowhere that they said this is going to cure your cancer or kill all your tumors. So he finds an online post where somebody saying, look, if you have cancer, come talk to me. And this person had claimed that a $5 a week dewormer, fenbendazole, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, was being used and had cured someone's brain cancer. Now, again, these are huge claims. I'm not making these claims, but he decided to do it. And when he went back 3 months later, he's cancer-free. 3 months after that, they kicked him out of the cancer ward, the oncologist's office, and said, look, man, I don't even know why you're here. And he went from 220 pounds to 110 pounds, Luke, before getting on this pill. That, again, if you think about it, it's $20 a month, this treatment. That's incredible. That's literally less than a night out dinner yourself. Think about it.
And let's be honest, if Big Pharma knew this and was marketing this or had this, they, of course, would market the drug up for, of course, R&D, research and development. And this drug would have been, in my opinion, a lot higher than the price that you're mentioning here. Should we play some of this? I mean, I got so many other things I want to talk about, the market stuff, the FDA stuff. There's so many things to get into. But let's just play a little bit of this guy's story. Let's see him because I'm still flabbergasted at what he's claiming.
better be ready for some skeptics. But Joe Tippin says it did save his life and others. And now even cancer researchers are open to the possibility it might be true.
My neck, my liver, my pancreas, my bladder, in my bones, it was everywhere.
2 years ago, Joe Tippin says he was told to go home, call hospice, and say his goodbyes. The doctors were unanimous. He was going to die of small cell lung cancer.
Once that kind of cancer goes that far afield, the odds of survival are less than 1%, and the median life expectancy is 3 months.
Tippin says he went from 220 pounds to 110.
Look at that picture of the guy, Luke. Oh, my God. I mean, you're looking at him right now in an interview later. They almost don't even look like the same person.
Yeah, two separate people. Let's keep playing it.
But that was January of 2017. Today, Tippins is very much alive, and what he credits for his survival has doctors scratching their heads and the rest of us raising eyebrows.
About half the people think I'm just crazy, and half the people want to know more and dig deeper.
Tippins says he got a tip, not from a pharmacist, but a veterinarian. And in his desperation, he turned from people medicine to dog medicine, specifically fembendazole, or what you give a dog when it has worms.
Truth is stranger than fiction, you know.
Just 3 months later, Tippins says his cancer was gone.
I'm usually skeptical, and I was, and maybe still am, about this one. But there's an interesting background to this.
Just the fact that that man was willing to get on camera as part of a large medical institute should let you know that this person is at least being genuine with his account. Let's continue.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to face a lot of scrutiny. He's going to face a lot of backlash. But you can see on his face, he's pretty genuine. He's extremely happy. It's like he has a new lease on life because it looks like he does.
Cancer researchers like Stephen Prescott are skeptical, but they also are not dismissing this anti-parasitic's potential. He says Tippins is not the first person to potentially benefit, and maybe not the last.
Scientists at many credible places have done work on this for years.
But was it the dog dewormer, or was it something else? Tippins took the dog medicine with daily vitamin E supplements and CBD oil. He was also taking an experimental cancer-fighting drug. But Tippins says out of the 1,100 patients on that clinical trial, he was the only one cleared of cancer.
Let's talk about that. When we talk about
huge. That's the big talking point right here.
Yeah, when we talk about 1,100 people, guys, that means, okay, less than 0.1% if you give him that number. So not 1%, 0.1, less than that, less than 0.1. I think it'd be like around 0.09. That's incredible, if not completely impossible, that drug in the trial is what cured his cancer. Think about that. Let's continue.
Tippins says he was saved by the dog dewormer, and he plans to take it for the rest of his life.
Oh, my insurance company spent $1.2 million on me with traditional means before I switched to a $5 a week medicine that actually saved me.
That's the big point right here. Pause it there. How much are we spending on Medicaid? How much are we spending on insurance? How much are we spending on healthcare in the United States? It is astronomical because this business has been corrupted by a lot of people who are incentivized purely by profit. And time again, we have documented, not always, but there are many cases where we documented how big pharma, the big medical industries, have foregone the well-being of their patients for profit, for money, for, of course, absolute immoral reasons. And it's been documented. We talked about it with Bayer. We talked about it with so many different companies out there. And look what the man just said. Like $1.2 million insurance paid, and again, in many states, that is subsidized by the taxpayer. Many states, not of course all of them. I don't think so in Oklahoma, depending if you had private or public insurance, we don't know. But this is something to consider when we're talking about health care for all, Medicare for all. Do you really want to finance an industry which I believe has very corrupt elements of it that haven't been dealt with? That's my take on it from what he just said. Should we keep playing it?
I think we should also, we've done that, but we should talk about how, there are other companies out there saying, hey, we have made a lot of progress. And this headline I thought was interesting, Luke, because Victoria Forster, who's the author of this, is a cancer researcher and a cancer childhood survivor. And she's right away, and maybe it's warranted, trying to put skepticism on this Israeli company. My question is, if you've had such successful results with this Edmund man, right? If you've had such successful results, and we're admitting there have already been other clinical trials, why are we not just full board going to a drug that has been in such abundance? And why are there headlines like this? If the Chinese cure cancer, is that a threat too? This is a brand new article, by the way.
Yeah. Well, this is something important to bring up. Sorry, keep going, Jason.
Well, no, that's my point. Like, you're almost openly admitting that if another nation cures cancer, that's going to be bad for us because it'll be bad for our market and they'll have a monopoly on this. Listen, we're all human beings. To treat it like a business in any respect is mind-blowing to me. Do we not all have mothers, fathers, brothers, and sisters, people that we know have been affected by cancer, friends and family members? Where is the compassion, Luke? Why is this about profit?
Yeah, we have to understand. I mean, we're all human, but we're all different. Our physical and chemical bodies are different and wired different. We also have to understand that and reacts differently to different things, like THC. Some people love THC. My body reacts to it negatively. I can't have a positive experience on it. CBD is something I've been using. Some people can't do CBD. Some people are even allergic to CBD or THC. So we have to understand that aspect here with this specific case, because what your body reacts to may be something different that somebody else reacts to. But in my opinion, I do believe that cancer is a huge industry. We're talking about millions of people being diagnosed every single year, and those numbers going up every single year. Many people speculate because of, the food, whatever, speculate why the cancer rates are going up. But one thing that is sure is that cancer is a huge industry that makes a lot of powerful people a lot of money. And that's why it's incredulous to see market articles talking about, hey, if another country cures cancer, this is going to hurt our bottom line. Well, hold on here. You lifeless, soulless son of a gun, you piece of human trash. Like, how dare you? Like, I had, relatives touched by cancer. I had family members died from cancer, seeing the suffering of people rotting away. And in my opinion, I do believe, this is just my opinion, that cancer cures and things that help cancer have been deliberately stifled, have been deliberately shunned away. And again, even with this case, the FDA is going to come in there and they're going to be like, oh, we're going to have to study this for like 25, 50 years. The FDA is still dragging their feet on CBD, right? The CBD medical marijuana community is begging the FDA to get some legitimate action on this. Meanwhile, oh, yeah, you could electrocute your kids when they sleep to deal with ADHD, an ailment that people still debate if it's actually real. Electroshock them as minors. Literally, approved right away. So we have to understand the influence of big money here, because I do believe it is detrimental to the human condition. And sadly, when you go to the doctor, it's like having a little
roulette wheel.
Roulette wheel of like, hey, am I going to get screwed up more, or is this actually going to help me in the United States? In a lot of different countries I traveled, I did a lot of medical tourism. It's a lot different. That's my take on it. Jason, what else do you have to say about this? And should we end it here?
Yeah, I just want to let people know that Dr. Scott that you just saw and the gentleman are doing a clinical study right now. So, they are trying to get a case study report out there to the public. But I want to read this because I think it's important. Joe is careful to note that he is not a doctor. I'm not a doctor. And is only one man with limited resources. I am not prescribing medicines, and I am not qualified to give advice or medical treatments. But he is qualified to tell his story to as many people as possible. So I encourage everybody out there to go check this story out. And if you think it's interesting, please share it on social media. I sure as hell think it's interesting. And especially if you currently have somebody in your life that is dealing with cancer and seems to have no other options out there. Maybe it's time to check this one out. I don't know. It's up to you. Again, I'm not a doctor. If you like this video, guys, we're doing 4 a day across 2 channels, Pulse Change and We Are Change. Make sure you are subscribed. Make sure to ring that bell so you can maybe sort of kind of get some notifications of when we put these videos out. Like I said, share them on social media. It's so important. If you can, grab a t-shirt at the t-shirt shop, make a donation. It helps support independent media and allows us to do this for you on a daily basis. But most importantly, get out there and be the change you want to see in the world.